Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here from 9 to 5ers. We're going to create some excess income here in stage 3. This is part 2. If you have not watched part 1 yet, stop and go back to 9 to 5ers, our homepage there on YouTube, and check out part 1. But if you have, let's just go ahead on and move forward. So quick disclosure, use the following information for educational purposes only. We are not lawyers, certified public accountants, or financial advisors. Please seek professional advice on an as-needed basis. Thank you so much. So the overview, what we've already talked about before, we've explained the previous stages. We've talked about stage 3, we've explained that in a nutshell, and then the idea is to create some cash. What we're going to jump into next is save cash, how to just keep money instead of having to worry about and go out and make money. OKRs, which are objectives and key results, super important to getting to your goals efficiently and effectively, and making sure you have goals that actually matter. And talk about last, what the heck are we going to do with all this money? Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's keep your cash. So this is kind of the other side of the coins. Instead of going out and making an extra $300 a month, why don't we just try to save $300 a month without doing any work? Here are some ideas, no particular order whatsoever, but go out and buy used, yard sales, pawn shops, consignment shops, whatever. I've noticed that having a child, the retail price for kids' clothes versus a yard sale or someone that you know as a friend is 100% versus 50% or less. We got my son this kitchen set that he can stand at and play kitchen in. Retail, it was like $100, and then we went on Facebook Marketplace and we bought it for $35. That's just for kid stuff. Everybody has something that they want to get rid of, and the emotional point of getting rid of it is more important than trying to make a profit off of it. They just want to get rid of it. So check out on the regular, yard sales, pawn shops, garage sales, consignment shops, whatever. Find stuff cheap. Never pay retail ever again. Gourmet at home. Do you like to watch the Food Network? Do you like to try out new recipes? Maybe you're someone that loves to be in the kitchen. Maybe you want to cook for somebody. My wife loves to do that type of stuff. Well, watch Food Network, see a dish, go like, man, I'd really like to try to make that. Make it at home. Make it at home for half the price that you would get by going out and eating it at a restaurant. You're going to create a memory. You'll be able to add on extra stuff like a dessert or maybe a bottle of wine for less than what you would pay for at the restaurant, and you make a memory out of it. You don't have to do it for your husband or your spouse. You can do it for your parents. You can do it for your friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. But not only will you get something cheaper that's going to taste just as good, you're also going to create a memory out of it. So that's how to vision stack or preferred life stack. Shop on the outside of the aisle and eat beans. We're talking about the grocery store here. So the outside of the aisle is going to be your produce. It's going to be your dairy section. It's going to be your meat department. It's going to be maybe the bread aisle, which is a lot of times the outside aisle there too. It's healthier, and a lot of the times it's less expensive. The middle of the grocery store where all the processed food sits is expensive, and it's not necessarily good for you. And that's hard to argue with. Also, eat beans. I threw that in there as an alternative, and you can see that. You'll see it later on what I'm talking about here. But beans are relatively cheap, and they're pretty healthy for you compared to other foods that are more expensive that provide the same nutritional value. So get into liking beans. Less meat equals more money. More money. If you can do a meat alternative, you might find that it's healthier for you and you're saving money. Meat is expensive versus a lot of other types of foods. So if you can cut out meat for maybe one meal a day or maybe a whole day, a week, you're going to put more money in your pocket. I'm not saying you have to give up meat if you love to eat meat, but it's a great way to save money by just cutting it out or reducing it. Buy big, cook big, big savings. What I do is, and my wife does, we go out and we buy bulk for pasta, chicken breast, whatever we're trying to eat. And then we will cook up all of those items all at once. We'll just spend like an afternoon just cooking food, and we put it into reusable containers. and we'll throw that food. We'll make individual meals, a variety of them, and we'll throw them in our freezer. And that's our own home cooked frozen meal that we have. So we got all the freshness of what you would get if you cooked it right then and there. There's no preservatives and all that nasty chemical stuff that the processed foods are going to have, and you're going to save money. Yes, it does take time, but if you batch it out, over the long run, it's going to take way less time than what you would think of. And you can just have a deep freezer in your basement or in your house, or maybe out in your garage, and just stack all these meals up there, and you have a ready to eat healthy meal for yourself at any given time. You save money and you're eating healthier. Buy from the farm directly. You can actually go to a farm and buy a whole pig or a whole cow, and you're thinking to yourself, what the heck am I going to do with a whole cow or a whole pig? I can't eat all of that. I don't have room for all that in my house. Well, split it with somebody else, a neighbor, a friend. If you're a meat eater, go, hey, you want to split a pig? Do you want to do half and half, or 3 of us go in together? You know where it's coming from. So there's that aspect, and you're cutting out the middleman, which is the supplier, the grocery store, the processing plant. The farm does all the processing there for you and vacuum seals it. Not only are you helping out a local farmer make money, you're cutting out the idiot middlemen that aren't really helping you out, those big giant conglomerate corporations, but you're also eating, you know where the food's coming from, and you're saving some money. Not the doggone big conglomerates here, but it's just a point that I'm trying to make. 30-day rule versus impulse versus a need. So let's say you maybe tend to be an impulse shopper. Maybe you don't know if you're an impulse shopper or not, and you really, really want to get something, a new TV, a new computer, a new phone, a new watch, a new whatever. And the one that you have right now is still working. It's still fine. It's just older. Maybe it's not functioning 100%. Give it that 30-day rule. Is this an impulse, or is this an actual need? Do I absolutely positively need this? Now, if your tires go flat on your car, this is not an impulse purchase. You just need to go out and buy new tires for your car. But if it's something that you don't absolutely positively need right now, give it that 30-day rule. That also helps create discipline, and it reduces or eliminates impulse purchases. Plus, between now and the 30-day, you might find a sale on it. Library. Believe it or not, you pay for the library. It does cost you money through your taxes. So why not use it? Why buy something on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, or whatever, one of those rental places where you rent the movie when it's down at your local library for quote unquote free? Go down there a couple times a month, stack up on DVDs, books, music, whatever, magazines, and borrow them for free because you already paid through your taxes, and save the money. Let's keep going here. Grow your idea pool, podcast articles. So what we're trying to say here is that, yes, right here, this information that you're getting right here is very good, but continue to grow it. There's other podcasts, there's other YouTubers out there, there's other articles out there that are trying to help you find great ways to save money, not just us. I mean, we appreciate you guys coming here, but we want you to go out and find different options from all different places. How to increase your skills, ways to save money on what you're spending. Keep that idea pool growing, keep it growing, because if you let it stay stagnant, you're eventually going to come down to zero again, and you're not going to be saving money or making more money. There's apps out there, Gas Buddy, Honey. There's a million different apps. You can plug into your computer, you can plug into your phone that help you save money every time you go and check out. Game night at home. Why, instead of going out to maybe a bar and then dinner and whatever, yes, that's fun, and you're getting out of your house. I get that. But you don't need to do that all the time. You can invite friends over to your house. They bring a couple board games. You have a couple board games. You all chip in on food, and you have a great time. That's the whole point of it, of hanging out with your friends, is to be around your friends. The atmosphere doesn't mean as much if you're looking to save some money. I'm not saying you have to have game night at your house all the time. You can have it at your house. You can have it at their house, or you can go out. But throw in a game night at home every once in a while to save some cash. And the thermostat here, 1 degree equals $10 a month, roughly. If you can go up 1 degree in the summertime, you're going to save $10 a month. If you can go down a couple degrees or a degree in the wintertime, then you're going to save $10 a month. But it's roughly about 1 degree equals $10 a month. This list, like the last list, is almost endless too. But the whole point of this is to get you guys to think outside the box. Your goal needs to be emotional. It needs to be exciting. And if you have a giant, big goal, then just remember that that big goal is a bunch of little tiny goals just stacked on top of each other. So if you have a big goal that says like, I want to make an extra 10 grand a month, that's a big goal. Especially if you're not making extra 10 grand a month, you're making an extra $50 a month. That's a long way to go. Or let's say I want to have, $1 million in my bank account, and right now I only have 1,000. That's a big goal. Smaller goals along the way. Think to yourself, okay, if I want to make an extra $10,000 a month, how do I get from $50 a month up to $500 a month? That's a smaller goal. So chunk the goals out. It's really important. And when you hit that small goal, give yourself a small reward. Don't wait to the very end of the big goal to give yourself a big reward. That's going to lead you to burn out and fail and then revert back to your old spending habits and savings habits. Give yourself small goals along the way. The closer that reward is to the goal, you're going to hit it. So if it's, 1 month away versus 1 year away is completely different. You're going to try as hard as you can to get to that 1 month goal because it's only a month away. It's 30 days, not 365 days. And try to keep a positive thought loop, a positive mindset. Think to yourself, instead of saying like, I can't do this, I can't afford that, that's too expensive, I'm poor. Think to yourself, how can I afford this? How can I make this happen? How can I get this experience on this budget? How can I come close to it? What can I reduce? What can I supplement to get this, to have this experience? And just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. You're going to hit roadblocks along the way between each one of those small goals on the way to that big goal. Just keep at it. Keep watching our videos. Keep thinking outside the box. Keep watching podcasts, expanding your education, expanding your skill set so that you can get to that next small goal. OKRs. What are OKRs? Well, OKRs are objectives and key results. This is how you create a goal. This is the proper way to kind of create a goal versus just throwing something up on the New Year's calendar there. I want to be healthier. Okay, well, what does healthier mean? What does that mean to you? What that means to you versus what that means to me can be completely different. So objectives. Why are you trying to create excess cash? That's the whole point here. What's the whole your whole point is to create excess cash. So why are you trying to create excess cash? Are you trying to pay off debt? Are you sick and tired of credit card debt, debt collectors calling you, medical bills, whatever? Are you trying to create excess cash to knock out all of your debt? Are you trying to invest in a business, like your dream business that you're trying to create? That's a reason to save money and get outside your comfort zone. Are you trying to make a memory? And by that is, let's say that you want to do a big vacation abroad. You want to do something really exciting and it's going to cost you, I don't know, let's just say $10,000. Well, that's a big vacation. That's expensive to do. And you want to make this memory last a lifetime. This is like your big thing, is to go overseas and travel the world for a whole month. And you want to do it and it's going to cost you 10 grand. So we'll say. It's got to be emotional. It's got to be exciting. There's got to be a reason why you would go out and pick up a second job or start selling stuff on eBay or going to yard sales or going to this gas station versus that gas station because you're going to save a couple bucks here and a couple bucks there. It's got the goal has got to be exciting. It's got to be worthwhile. It's got to be something that you really, 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 really want to do. So key results, the calendar and the number is important. And I'll get to that here in a second. So the bad key result here is, so the objective is I want to be rich someday. All right. Well, the key result is I want to be rich and someday. Well, what does rich mean? Well, rich that means 10 different things to 10 different people. So who knows? Who cares? And someday, when is that? Well, someday's not on a calendar. That's not a day of the week. It's not a date and time. Who knows when you hit it? That's going to equal a bad result. It's a moving target that's just too vague. So let's see if we can't make up a better key result. I want to make $5,000 above my expenses per month within the next 14 months. That is going to give you a great result. Why? Because you know how the number is the $5,000. You know what you have to hit. I have to make $5,000 per month extra above my expenses. That equals success. $4,552 is not success. $1,000 per month is not success. $6,000 is above what I was expecting to hit, and that equals success too. When do you want to hit it? Well, it's not Sunday. It's 14 months from the day that I made this goal. And you write that down. 14 months to the day is this date and time. This is when I have to hit it. This is when I have to hit $5,000. Now you have a target that is not going to move. You have two numbers there that are not going to move. Rich and someday are adjectives. They describe something that's in someone's mind, and who knows what they're thinking. But everybody knows what $5,000 is, and everybody knows what date it is from 14 months from today is. That's going to give you the result. You're either going to succeed or you're going to fail. Either way, it's something to shoot for. It's a target that's not going to move. What are we going to do with all this money? We have all this excess money now. We're saving money. We're making money. I got everything on here on the left of what you could potentially do. And this is not an exhaustive list, just like the rest of these videos have not been an exhaustive list. This is just to get the ball rolling in your brain. Pay off debt. That's one option. Well, what does that do? Well, it's super easy to do. It's actually an easy win. You have the debt in front of you. Maybe you have a medical bill, credit card bill, car loan, house loan, student loan, couch loan, whatever. And believe it or not, it creates cash flow, because if you have a loan on a car and it's $350 a month, you have to make that payment or they come and take your car. Your car loan is like a gas bill. It's like an electric bill. But as soon as you pay it off, it disappears. So when you pay it off, you've just created $350 worth of cash flow, because instead of paying ABC Auto, you're now paying yourself $350. But paying off debt is not an asset. Debt, if you have a paid off car, yes, technically you kind of have an asset because the car is worth and it's all yours now. But that goes for a car or a house or something along those lines. But if you have a credit card or a medical bill, then you're not going to get an asset at the end of that. You're just going to get cash flow. But there's nothing wrong with paying off debt. That's a great place to start. Maybe you want to beef up your reserves. Maybe you want to get your reserves from maybe having 1,000 on hand to maybe 5,000 or 6,000 on hand. It's going to give you peace of mind. It's going to give you stability. It's going to give you just, if something bad happens, I can pay for it. That's great. I don't have to stress about it. I can go to sleep and fall asleep at night and not have to worry about playing the bank account game of who am I going to pay this month and who am I going to not pay this month. And your reserves can be an asset, depending on where you put it. If it sits in a bank account, it's not so much of an asset because banks don't pay interest rates. But if it's sitting in a CD or a money market, yes, maybe those interest rates aren't great, but it is an asset. It's not a great asset, but it is an asset. Maybe you want to buy stocks or you want to lend money to people. Well, okay, that is potentially cash flow. You are buying a stock that, let's say, if it does pay a dividend, then you get a percent of how many stocks that you own. You get, maybe it's 40 cents a share or something like that, and you own 100 shares, then you get that amount of money per quarter into your pocket. That is quote unquote cash flow. Or let's say you're lending to someone. Someone they got a real sweet deal on a property and they just need money for the rehab on it, and you're just like, hey man, I'll pay for the rehab if with my money if you pay me back my principal plus 10% in interest. then they're like, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, I know I can make a bunch of money on this house if I flip it. That's a win-win for both of us. So your interest, your dividend, whatever you want to call it, that's your cash flow that's coming back to you. Business startup. Now, this could be your business. It could be somebody else's business. Maybe you're doing a joint venture. Maybe you're starting your own business. But it's eventually it will give you cash flow, and it's an asset based on what type of business it is. But I don't want to get too far into the weeds here, because all of this stuff is now more getting into stage 4, and we'll create a video specifically for stage 4, and we'll probably do maybe a specific asset class, one video per asset class. And if you guys want that, let me know down in the comments if that's what you want to see, because once you start getting into asset classes, it gets very detailed, and there's lots of pros and cons, and it's best for everyone that those things are explained a little bit more thoroughly. So let me know if you want that down in the comments there, if that's what you want. But guys, what do you think about this? Did we answer all your questions in part 1 and part 2? And this is something we ask you guys all the time. What has stopped you in the past from reaching your financial goals? What types of videos would you like to see next in the future? Please like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it when you guys do. And if you're on Facebook, check us out at 9 to 5ers. We are here to make you smarter today and richer tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.